Good morning, this is Rich Nelson with Allendale here. This is the Thursday, May 5th edition for 2016. Now, as far as outside markets, we got U.S. dollar today trading up about 41 points. Crude itself is actually up 160 points, so $1.60. Those gains in crude are being made right now on the Canadian wildfire issue up in Alberta. That's, of course, getting near the Canadian tar sands area, which is an area of concern. As far as economic reports, this morning the weekly jobless claims came out this morning. 17,000 head increased to now 274,000. The trade was only expecting 260,000. So a little bearish number as far as the Thursday weekly jobless claims. Don't forget here, we got the big employment report out tomorrow morning, the monthly employment report from the Department of Labor. Current trade estimate is about a 202,000 head increase in terms of non-farm payrolls for the month of April. The trade will note that the March numbers for 215,000. Now, as far as grains today, looks like a very slightly higher tone to things here. Corn up 1, soybeans up 8. Looks like wheat trading up 1 here. As far as other issues, we've got, as far as contributing issues this morning, export sales for corn were considered negative. Only 830,000 metric tons, certainly quite a bit off the 2.6 from the previous week. Now, this 830 number is also under the trade estimates here. As far as soybeans, that number was positive. Just over 1.2 million tons were found as far as the previous week's sales. That certainly was supportive. Looks like wheat numbers were neutral at 319,000 tons. Now, as far as news this morning beyond the export sales, we of course have the China corn planting discussion. The Vice Ag Minister suggested that corn plantings will be down about 3 million acres this year. Not considered any big surprise by the trade, though we've known about this for some time. As far as the soybean side of things here, we've got the Buenos Aires Grains Exchange. They suggested that about 7.5% of all acres have been damaged by this excess rainfall. They compute 785,000 acres being completely wiped out, and another 700,000 acres classified as in danger. So that's one thing to look at here for new this morning. Also, we've got the Brazil situation. A special prosecutor for the Brazilian Senate has went ahead and recommended that the Senate do prosecute the current president for impeachment. The Senate will vote here next Wednesday. As far as other news, we have the Wheat Quality Council tour right now. Of course, we're finding great yields in almost everywhere that they look at here. As far as weather this morning, looks like light rains still not really seen until early Saturday morning. These, of course, will last through mid next week, and this will be something which does add maybe a little of uncertainty now to the current corn planting situation. Also, that 6 to 10 day forecast does show normal to above normal precip for the southern third of the Corn Belt. Looks like below normal precip for North Dakota and Minnesota. As far as the next week's large report from USDA, the monthly supply demand, average trade guess is that corn stocks will be 2.256 billion bushels, a little over Allendale's estimate of 2.1. But bottom line, this number is going to be big here, no doubt. As far as new crop soybean stocks, current trade estimate is 412. Allendale's a little bit lower than that at 363. Numbers on wheat, 1.013 million bushels. Allendale's a little higher than that at 1.1. Now, as far as key issues, as far as the South American situation, the average trade estimate for the Brazilian corn crop is to see it go from 84 million tons to now 80.4. The Argentina soybean situation is seen dropping from 59 million tons to now 55.6. So the trade feels USDA will take a stair-step pattern to these potential problems here for South America. On the livestock side of things here, we have the current cattle market trading up 90 cents. Good trade as far as that goes, despite the fact that wholesale beef ended $1 lower yesterday. Looks like right now we do have some concern about this product moving. On the other hand, we've got this 28,000 head decline for show list for this week. Export sales in beef, 15,542 metric tons, over the 14,694 from last year. This is the best number as far as export sales in 3 weeks as far as beef. Over the hog side, looks like gains of $1.26 seen for yesterday's cash hog action in Iowa, Minnesota. Slight loss there for cash pork. Despite these issues, looks like the current trade on futures trading up 50 cents. Keep in mind here, tomorrow is the expiration of the May contract for lean hogs. Export sales this morning, very, very strong. 30,333 metric tons, sharply over the 16 691 from last year in the same week here. So action day as far as grains will be higher across the board. Livestock might be more of a mixed to higher tone. We'll see if this lasts, and also more important for us, we'll see if the cattle head lasts as far as higher trade today. Any question about markets, marketing, or any news stories you've discussed or heard about here today, give Allendale a call, 1-800-262-7538.